I just said I get anxiety when
Yeah,
my,
we were just talking about.
I get anxiety when my countertop's cluttered. Jerry, I'm the youngest by 12 years. Like my older brother and sister used to torture me with horse poltergeist, the clown scene.
Good. Please stand and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call the October 16th, 2025 meeting to order of Egg Harbor City Council. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the state of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Egg Harbor City Common Council was provided in the following manner. Post has been put on the Egg Harbor City Bulletin Board, a post on the Egg Harbor City website, and advance written notice was sent to the Hamilton Gazette and the Atlantic City Press. This is also available, conducted through Zoom and conference call and in person. Will be able to be seen on the website on channel 97 and Facebook. Roll call, please.
Mayor Petty,
Here.
Wright,
Here.
Galloway,
Here.
Hesse,
Here.
Keener,
Here.
Timber,
Here, music goes in alphabetical order. That's here. Whom you go?
Black, Heist,
Here,
Clark.
here. You trying to throw us off?
I was gonna say, not usually have a nice, so. Is it like
It's like that's
Okay, number five. Number 5 on the agenda is, I'm sorry, 4, approve the minutes of September 25th, 2025.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Number 5 is public comment. Anyone wish to speak on any agenda items? First call. Seeing none. We'll close the public comment section. Number 6 is our mayor's report.
Okay, so a couple things. Wednesday, the 22nd is our grand opening of our fitness park at Rotary Park. 10 a.m. Everyone's invited. I believe the police and public works are gonna have some sort of contest there and so it'll be a fun day. You can learn how to, or a fun hour, so you can learn how to use the equipment and everything else. Maybe we should get the clerks to participate.
Here you go, Meg.
Also, and if anyone noticed, the wall at the first responder park was finished. We didn't think it was gonna get there, but it did. And it actually is beautiful. It looks better than, it looks like brand new. So I wanted to thank Nick Ehrman, who's works company, and he donated his time and his power washing to go above and beyond the call of duty. He power washed all the tiles and the stones and all that jazz, and he will be back on Monday to put dirt in. So that's all good. So everything looks really good, and we're just so happy that that's back. That was just so sad what happened to that. Oh, and he also did the mulch too. I don't know if you saw it, Chair, because I don't know what time they got finished.
Going like 35.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So we are in the middle of a clothing drive for the American Legion, and that money will be used to put a monument in Lincoln Park for those who served in the Gulf War and the global war on terrorism. I have flyers here. It tells you exactly what we're collecting. And I hope everybody can at least get a bag. I'll pass out the city council. I mean, one bag, it's not really costing you anything but a little bit of time to clean out your closet. So that's just one of many, because I believe that the monuments are quite pricey. We don't have a committee yet for the monument, but they're working on that. That's above my pay grade. Also, the Scarecrow selfie contest is on. You send your picture to the, there's a little QR code on there, which brings you to the email It's a Gmail. So if you take your picture, send it to the Gmail, then you have a chance of winning one of three $50 prizes. So it's not based on costumes or anything. It's just based on a random drawing. And American Legion breakfast is this Saturday, so I hope everyone will come out and support our vets. The German dinner at the Moravian Church is on Saturday also, so you really don't have to cook and maybe skip lunch with all that good food. And the coalition will be at Lincoln Park also. What time's that, Chief? 10?
Maybe, yeah, for breaking bread. Yeah.
Breaking bread, and they'll have clothing
Yeah.
and coats and things like that. They have it every year. Yeah, and so I hope people can participate in that, and all that information, if you need more information, is on the official Egg Harbor City Facebook page, Instagram, web, and Channel 97. Also, I guess I could mention condolences to the Moore family. I'm sure many of you here know Jeannie Williams or Jeannie Moore Williams. Her brother, who is my cousin, died suddenly last week, and it was quite a shock to the family, so keep them in your prayers. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Council committee chair reports. Councilman Wright for Parks and Playgrounds.
Nothing. I was asked to postpone it until November.
Okay. That was the one concern. Okay. All right. Councilwoman Galloway, sustainable.
New Jersey, Jerry and a couple members of our tree committee are attending the 100th annual New Jersey Shade Tree Federation Conference in Atlantic City today and tomorrow. Jerry will be presenting tomorrow about on a panel about our tree program that everybody in the state has heard about. I felt like a celebrity today. So, and that's it for sustainable.
Anything else on?
No, I'll
property?
save the others for later.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Hesse for safety and Rotary and code.
I have nothing for safety. Code, I just want to say, our last meeting was in August, so I'd like to schedule a follow-up to close out items from earlier this year and discuss a new job posting. I'll reach out via email to the committee. So keep an eye open for your for that on your email. The other thing I wanted to say was I'd like to thank Jody for adding the online rental registration. Thank you, Jody. The registration payment it is to the city's website. Both online rental payments and rental inspection scheduling can now be found on the city's website. This is for rentals. Both online scheduling and payment have been set up for the convenience of the landlords. Scheduling your inspections online also helps to free up the department to perform their many other duties. I'd like to thank the landlords that have used Calendly this year so far to schedule their inspections. The bowling alley, I'm sure Jerry will touch on that. We were at the meeting at the court today, so we'll find out what happens. And that's all I have for code and Rotary. There's been an addition to the Halloween parade. The addition is a wheelchair viewing area. The area will be first come, first served, and will be located near the DJ table. So just a little heads up on that. If anyone knows anyone, please pass that information on that's in a wheelchair. It should be a lot more convenient for them that way. Also, the Rotary would like to thank all of the 7th and 8th grade students who participated in this year's Halloween poster contest. The judges said the creativity and effort truly shined. There were so many wonderful works of art. It made it a challenge to choose the winners. And they had 2 honorable mentions, and that's like evidence of how hard it was for them to choose. The winning posters will be on display at the grocery outlet in Hamilton Commons. The winners will be posted on the Egg Harbor City's Facebook site as well today. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
President, I have a question.
Sure.
Are we hiring someone else for the code department? Because you said about hiring, we're a new hire.
Well, not right this minute. We have We have to settle some other things first with the previous new hire. So he's no longer in code and he hasn't been. So that's something that we're working on right now. Maybe Jerry could elaborate a little bit more on that, but right now we aren't doing anything until certain things get settled.
Because the employee hasn't been let go, because we haven't noticed them, like, we talk about it, but I can talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's it.
thank you. Councilman
Council
Timbers,
President, could I
Sure.
got something? Just to let council know and anybody else who's interested, Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. We will be meeting at Hinault Winery with the folks from Sustainable Jersey. There will be people coming from all over South Jersey, from Cape May to Ocean in Burlington County to get their Atlantic City Electric Awards. So if anybody's interested in going, let me know.
okay, thank you. Councilman Timbers for ordinance, land use and Aaron.
Here in Hoffman, I have nothing land use, I don't have anything unless Ryan has anything. As far as ordinance, we had a meeting on Tuesday and we discussed possible amendments to the city's ordinance dealing with vicious dogs. So we wanted to define the terms clear. So we have vicious dogs, we also have potentially dangerous dogs. And we also wanted to address how property owner or dog owners should address if they do have a vicious dog or a dog that has been determined by a court as being vicious, or if they have a potentially dangerous dog, how they're supposed to handle that dog to keep their neighbors safe from that animal. And also what potentially could happen to that animal if they don't register it, if they don't follow the court's instructions. We're hoping to have this ordinance introduced at the next meeting.
Okay,
Question, are you looking to do an ordinance that's different from the New Jersey Dangerous Dog Act? It seems from what you described, it seems like everything that you're working on is already described in that.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to update the city's ordinance.
Okay.
Not so much to match up to the state, but just what we think is going to be match up best for Egg Harbor City.
So you're looking to have different definitions of those items other than what the state has designated? And is that a
That's-
potential problem?
That's what I think we needed more clarification on. So we're gonna have to consult with the
Yeah,
attorney.
what I think we had, Steve, was a draft that our city attorney provided, but the part of the draft that was sent around didn't have definitions, didn't have what a vicious dog, what a dangerous dog, all of those things. I think that's what the code committee.
I think the New Jersey Dangerous Dog Act is very specific and there's
So we
two
should
definitions.
Probably should put those definitions and see if those slide into our,
think that's what Chris is saying.
yeah.
I'm just concerned that you're gonna work on an ordinance that contradicts the state law.
Yeah, that's a problem. So we'll make sure, I'll let Chris know when I speak to him tomorrow. But that will make sure we don't have that issue.
Mikey, you familiar with that at all?
Yeah, I've seen in our file, I think it's very accurate.
Okay,
Maybe stand here.
so we're not gonna contradict.
We
state
will
law.
certainly not contradict.
Right.
If,
Okay.
if there, in some way, if the state law preempts us, that's one thing, but you don't necessarily have to match one for one. So we'll leave that to our attorneys. They'll review it, and give us something that, that if we pass, it'll survive challenge.
Okay, I'm just concerned that you're trying to spend resources to reinvent the wheel when it's already clarified clearly in the state.
It's not a matter of preemption, then it's something that we can address specifically
Okay,
for the town.
There's been so many incidents recently that
sure.
people have come here and complained about that. I
the
think-
review is warranted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I do this for a living, so I understand.
Understood.
In fact, I believe Egg Harbor City was one of the first municipalities to prosecute under New Jersey Dangerous Dog Act many years ago. When Mr. Barbetto was attacked by 3 pit bulls on New York Avenue.
I can tell you, our ordinance does have holes. Just to speak personally, if you know my story, my dog was killed on my property by a pit bull that had killed multiple animals in the town. Now, they were able, the property owner, ordinances say that you can speak to an official who can tell you where a place where you can have the dog. And it's supposed to be of that person's choosing, but our ordinance would let, the dog owner decide where the dog should be. So they could give it to a relative, and then the dog could be moved outside of the municipality's jurisdiction. And that's what happened to me. So there was an order, but only if the dog were somehow to end up back in the state of New Jersey. They had moved the dog. That shouldn't be possible. You shouldn't be able to take a vicious dog and then harbor it
So by
somewhere.
state law, a vicious dog would need to be euthanized by state law.
But it takes a decision of the court. So in the meantime, while the dog, they move the dog, and that shouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
So things like that, we wanted to clean up.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? Carl?
Nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Doty?
I don't have anything to report. We didn't, Public Works did not have a meeting, though Public Works functions and activities have been pretty busy. I'll leave that to the administrator and to our engineer and their reports to go into the details and answer questions. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Clark for school,
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
okay. Anything to add, Councilwoman Heist and Dash?
No.
No,
No, thank you.
okay. All right. As far as redevelopment and finance, we haven't had a meeting in a few weeks. Some of us were on vacation, so we're looking to have a meeting Monday where we have a lot of agenda items to talk about. So, but at the next meeting, we'll be able to report on that. Okay, next we have our chief of police.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Few numbers for you since last time we met, 9/25, between today. We've had 1 aggravated assault, 2 burglaries, 1 fraud report, 1 simple assault, 1 stolen motor vehicle, 6 thefts. 14 motor vehicle accidents, 1 pedestrian stop, 60 traffic stops, 39 summonses issued, 1 DUI arrest, a total of 11 adult arrests. 8 business alarms, 5 residential alarms, 114 crime prevention activities, 6 domestic violence incidents, 34 EMS incidents, 6 firearms ID applications, 8 follow-ups, 514 property checks, and 13 public service calls. In terms of operations support and training, we've had our entire department with their mandatory defensive tactics training. Over the last few weeks, anybody here at City Hall, you've seen us here, we moved everything, mats were out on the floor, and we got to, practice our jujitsu moves. We had one, that's what it is. So we had 1 officer who completed their firearms instructor research, and then we had 3 officers who completed training so that they can faster, we can more expeditiously get through firearms applications. So instead of having just 1 or 2 officers who can do that, we've got a few more who can assist with that. Few things I'd like to point out. Last time, Councilman Chambers, you asked about some of the stuff like follow-up stuff and things like that. So I went and looked through some of the calls that we had, just a snapshot for this last period that we had. So the 1 aggravated assault that we had an uncooperative victim. They wanted to know what happened. However, we did our investigation. That happened, the assault happened on October 2nd. On October 8th, we did wind up arresting the suspect, and he was subsequently arrested and processed, and so we took care of that. The 2 burglaries that we had listed, on October 10th, there was a burglary in Harbor Plaza. We were able to take a look at surveillance, find a witness. We subsequently went to the person's home, the suspect's home, and arrested him later on that night. Arrested and processed him. There was an elderly man who thought that somebody broke into his 2nd-story apartment. We were able to look at some video and find that was not the case. So that was not really a burglary, but we here at Egg Harbor City do not change our incidents to make it say, okay, no, this was not what the stat was. We leave it as it is. And it was reported as a burglary, but it was not really a burglary. Stolen motor vehicle. We had reported that we had a stolen motor vehicle. We sat on that vehicle. because we had intelligence that this vehicle may have had guns and drugs in it, had traps in it, and traps are, hollow areas in the vehicle that have special, buttons, and you have to, hit the air conditioner, tap on something 3 times, do whatever for certain things to open up in certain ways. Had reports of it. That kind of vehicle had a few traps in it. We sat on that vehicle, did a high risk stop on it. Wound up arresting the subject, and it did indeed have traps in it. We did not find all of the guns and drugs that we wanted, but it was a stolen motor vehicle, so that was recovered and the gentleman was arrested. Thefts. So these are fun. A few legitimate thefts. One woman had an assortment of lawn tools stolen from her property. We did have a resident have some recycling cans stolen. Some of the brand new ones, I get it, everybody's envious. So they're stolen. They did have a bicycle stolen. Then we had a few others that were not necessarily thefts, or if they were thefts, they were not anything of real significance. For example, Wawa. Wawa will not really sign complaints. It's not worth their time to go to court. So we had some thefts from there. They just wanted the gentleman banned who were stealing stuff. Another issue where it wasn't necessarily a theft, it was more of a civil matter. A gentleman apparently had an issue with a boss, so she decided to keep his tools until they figured out what was going on. Not really a theft, maybe stolen it. Exactly. Then we had a gentleman who constantly reports his encyclopedia stolen. They were not stolen. He had gotten rid of them a long time ago. But we deal with this, and it's a theft because he calls and says that his encyclopedias have been stolen. We love him. We tell him every time, listen,
I have some like encyclopedias he could have.
No, please don't. So those are the kinds of things that we deal with, and so we we have these stats, and sometimes some of the stats are not really what they seem. So we have these reports of theft and this, that, the other. One thing that I do want to bring up is that so we do these things, and we do our due diligence, and we try to find out what's going on. When we have these crimes, these burglaries, these things, we do our due diligence, take a look at cameras, interview people, all that kind of stuff. And then we also, run into fires. And this last week with the storm, we did have an officer who had to wade through about 100, maybe 200 yards of waist deep water to go drag somebody out of a submerged car because the road was closed, but somebody decided they needed to drive down the road to get to where they had to be. So this officer, with all of his stuff on, and fortunately, God bless outer carriers. The outer carriers, for folks that don't know, they're the vests that you can attach all of your stuff to. Fortunately, all of his electronic equipment, his radio, his body-worn camera, was up here, not down here, because that would have been very expensive, and I would not have been happy, and the mayor would not have been happy, and Jody would not have been happy. But he's walking in the very cold water while it's still raining, while it's still nasty. Anybody who was out on Monday or Sunday or Monday knows how that was. And this gentleman could not swim, the one who was out in his car that was submerged, who was kind of standing on top of his vehicle. So, these are the kinds of things that we do. And fortunately, we also had a very good Samaritan who did have a lifted truck who heard on his scanner a fire call go out and decided to drive down to see if he could potentially help. He did pick Sergeant Mangold, who was the officer who did the wading, and the gentleman who could not swim, and drove them back the 100 or 250, 200 yards back. So, that was very helpful. So I will get the name of that Samaritan because I think that he also deserves to be recognized. And I did want to recognize Sergeant Mangold because, it was cold. And, it was it's pretty rough, I think. So, but
That car submerged on a road?
yes.
Where was that?
Lower Frank Road. It gets on the opposite side of the bridge, in Burlington County, there were barricades, cones, road closed, everything, barrels. And then here at the end of Lower Bank Road on Philadelphia Avenue, road closed, everything, but people have to get where they have to get. So, yeah. But yeah, so, That's what we do here in our little town with our little department, you know. So.
Chief, do you get comparisons of what our stats look like versus the other towns in Atlantic County?
So we can do comp stats. It's difficult though because of the. Like I said, we don't juke our stats. That's what it's called. And I'm not saying that other departments necessarily do. But I'm not saying that they don't. So, and I mean, it's also very difficult as well because we are very different. We can't compare ourselves to a Longport or a Margate. You know, it's a different demographic, you know. The demographic that we are often compared to is we are called a mini Atlantic City and New Pleasantville. If you look at those statistics, our violent crimes are way lower. You know, we are a fraction of what we have there. Oh, you know what? One other thing I forgot to say. I'm sorry. I want to brag about these guys. So, car stops.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys read about, there was an article or there's been some recent arrests, in Brigantine. There was a serial sexual assaulter. And, this guy had warrants out for aggravated sexual assault, first degree aggravated sexual assault during a burglary, second degree sexual assault, third degree aggravated criminal sexual contact, third degree burglary of an occupied dwelling, fourth degree tampering with evidence. In Carver City, one of our officers did a car stop. In his due diligence, this guy was apprehended on that car stop and was then brought over to Brigantine for processing. You know, so we do car stops, we do our due diligence and find people and make the arrests, you know. So I wanted to say that about Officer White. He did that car stop and, you know, knew something was kind of hinky about that guy, ran him for warrants and you know, got a really bad guy off the streets. Bad man. I don't know look that up. If you haven't read about it, just look that up. That was.
Well, I do know your car stops have been awesome the past few months.
Yeah, well, that's awesome because we have our one guy back in workers' comp, we have our one guy back in military leave, we've got our trainees up and running, so you know, we're not running on much of a skeleton crew anymore, so we're.
Well, if you want to do comp stats with Margate and Ventnor and Longport
I don't.
regarding adult people driving through floodwaters, it happens all the time.
I believe that, I believe that, I mean. In their defense, they might not have any, you know, it's like
have no choice.
everything's flooded, so, you know, they cannot have a
drive
choice.
through it, create weight, or going
Yeah.
into people's houses.
So-
Well, Ocean City, that's all we did. Get a jet ski down the house.
I'm saying you have to put the full weight.
But yeah,
No way.
so we can do comparisons of, you know, what the stats are in terms of burglaries, you know, if you want information about certain things, then we can definitely do that.
I was just curious.
Chief, if you're finished your report, do you want to talk a little bit about Halloween trick or treat? Because people are always confused about what day it is and all that jazz.
Absolutely. Trick or treating in Egg Harbor City is always on Halloween. In Egg Harbor City, always on Halloween. We are traditionalists here when it comes to that. So on Halloween, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We recommend and we have bags out here. They are bright orange out here in City Hall, so you can grab those. Wear brightly lit clothing, have a flashlight or a lantern, something of the sort, so that way you are nice and safe. Ride across at crosswalks. I know it's difficult, it's so exciting, there's so much candy. I promise you, they will not give it to you if you go to the crosswalk. So please be very, very careful. Parents, if you are gonna drive your kids, even though they should be walking and getting their steps in because they're gonna eat all that candy and they should work off all that sugar. If you're gonna drive them from house to house to house, please be very aware that there will be kids darting in and out from between cars. And be careful because the last thing we want is any accidents where pedestrians are being hit. We will have officers out and about all throughout the town. It's pretty much an all hands on deck kind of night. We will be competing with a football game, unfortunately, at Cedar Creek.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we have a playoff game,
Yep.
which I'm still trying to talk to Mr. Ernie, their athletic director, to try to get that moved earlier into the day. I'm begging, I'm pleading, I don't know how much that's gonna work, but.
State things.
Crazy.
But, yeah, so we're gonna have that, but please be careful, brightly lit. Always walk with a partner. If you have any issues, please call us. We are happy, and like I said, we'll be out and about, rolling around. If you see our bright lights, we'll be out there, so, yeah. Anything else?
Thank you.
No problem.
My son wanted to dress up as a police officer this Halloween, so if you see two adults in orange jump, that is my husband and I, so not escaped convicts.
Handcuffs.
That was his request, what it does with the little everything. Orange is the new black.
Great.
I did
So,
hear.
If you have a very safe and happy Halloween, we'll see you at the Halloween parade and out on Halloween, and yeah, that's all I have. Any other questions?
Great job.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Good. They are CFO.
Just the best practice discussion, something we do every year. The state requires that we complete the best practice checklist. It's kind of a bunch of questions all about different, there's core competencies, budget questions, redevelopment. Some of it is unscored where they're just kind of trying to gather information about municipalities. So I did send out a draft to everybody, so I'll just kind of go over the only no questions that we had is number 13, whether we had any charging stations within the city, which is, I don't understand, a lot of the questions have either have an option to be prospective. And you can get points for that. Unfortunately, this is not one of them. We are working for that. We've been waiting for over a year for a grant from the BPU. So once we get a grant agreement, then we're ready to go. We're really just waiting on the state at this point, and the county is also putting in.
I think we're the only ones left that don't have one.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah,
solar,
they
the
do.
solar panels?
They have
Yeah, they do.
charging stations.
They're free, yeah.
Mm.
They're free.
You do?
Oh, they're not?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Charging stations.
Right,
They're
with
free.
Have one or more public electric vehicle charging stations been installed on municipal property, so. Yeah. So
Good try.
anyway, we have plenty of points. It really, the scoring, I think there were 41 scored questions. We have 39, so we only need 32, not have any state aid withheld, so we're good fine. The other question is kind of a follow-up after that. Do we have a policy to purchase hybrid or alternative fuel vehicles? So that is something we could consider in the future, but we don't currently have that.
Well, let me ask you something. We have the energy plan that we did that says that we're gonna do that.
The energy plan with the master plan, the element.
We did
It
it,
says
we
have
did
a
it,
formal policy, so I would say we don't
You
really.
putting
have
that in.
even though the council adopted that document. Would that count?
Policy. It's not it would be one of the council policies, right? Yeah. Potentially. Yeah.
Would you have to have a vehicle for that to qualify?
When purchasing a new vehicle, does your municipality have a formal policy to purchase hybrid or alternative fuel vehicles whenever such vehicles are suited to the intended use? I mean,
Only if there's a grant.
we do not. It's something we could look into. I would say it would be more like a.
Actually, they save more money than the gas powered vehicle.
So something we could look into.
Yeah.
That we honestly have, if we don't really need to have to do any of these, they're just things that we can decide in the future if we are interested. There was one I'm still waiting, we're waiting to hear back from the insurance, whether there was a thing about tax collector surety bond requirements, and whether states or municipalities can have like a more stringent policy and what's required. So we're just waiting to hear back from the JIP that theirs meets that more stringent policy. Again, we don't need it, but just a good practice to have. So we're waiting to find out. And then that was it. So
When is that, when do you have to turn that in?
The 24th. So, yeah.
Week. Okay, thank you. All right, number 10 is our city clerk. Nothing. City administrator, number 11.
So approximately 1 hour ago, we received a favorable decision for our long-standing multi-year court case for the bowling alley. And we have been granted the ability to clean up the property and I'm hoping it's the fine them every single day until they clean up the problem. Chris and I will meet tomorrow to talk about it and see what best works for us. But I just wanted to report, and Councilperson Hesse and the president were there today, and they got to see what Steve and I go through. And it's awful, but we made it through. So we won on the bowling alley today.
I have a question.
One
Is-
second. So we were, the judge said that he cannot, issue a court order to have us clean it up, but that we have the authority to clean it up under 40-48-212F, 40-48-6512, 40-48-2147, and our Egg Harbor City Code, which to our credit, I haven't been here, but for everyone up there, everyone in prior councils, is a very good ordinance for cleaning up these properties. So 178-13 is what the judge cited. So it's really good. Code is a big part of my job. We're in court once or twice a week now, and we'll just continue to resolve issues. In fact, earlier this morning, I was on the phone with the court while I had to get off of Jody's meeting with our health insurance, our new health insurance, that we resolved the border issue that we have on that side of the city. So, Lynette, sorry.
Is that when you say clean up the property, is that interior and exterior?
Just exterior.
Just the exterior, so I don't care what's in there.
Interior is still going through the
Fire.
construction Board of Appeals process over in the over at the county. And our first decision at the construction Board of Appeals was that the Board of Appeals feels strongly and voted 4-0 that the bowling alley has in fact changed the use of the property and is now storage instead of a bowling alley. I will be back with our fire code official in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, to go over the 11 violations that he received regarding the fire code violations, fire violations. So that portion is still outstanding, but today was a huge day for us. in the Accounting Court.
I have to commend you and Steve Hadley and Chris is back up there for that working out the way that it did. So
Good.
Thank you.
It's good. We kept Chris in the back row. Steaming. He was steaming in between you guys, right?
Oh, yes, he
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
Yeah. Second item is our company, the company that we contracted with to purchase our toters, delivered approximately 1,400 toters in about 4 days. And at my request, they did not deliver the 140 toters that were supposed to be delivered for businesses that have rental units above them. So DPW completed that process, and we completed that process on Tuesday. So during that process, we found 4 unregistered apartments, 2 which are suspect and under investigation right now. So
2 of the 4 or 2 on top of the,
2 of the 4.
okay.
2 of the 4. Number 3, lead season has started. We started picking up leaves on this side of the city earlier this week. This is my 14th leaf season. So if anyone wants to call me and give me some line of nonsense or however things have been done in the past, I've heard it all, I've seen it all. We'll get through leaf season. No matter who gets the calls, we'll get through leaf season. It's not an emergency, it's just a leaf. Third home game, right, this week?
Yeah.
1, 2,
Mhm.
Crusaders.
Yeah.
So we've been pretty busy. I call it the home game marathon because it goes all day long.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the DPW has been, we were there all day today, we'll be all there tomorrow to make sure it looks really great.
And thank you for doing the water too, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, so we had all of that taken care of, and then we just finished cutting 168 trees. I give you a cumulative every month. And we're gonna start pruning, Buffalo is off, that we're pruning, elevation pruning and, hazard wood pruning, yes.
We have a tree at this Stadiers Field right by the football building. That, I mean, big chunk of branches are falling down every windstorm you get. I don't know.
I'll take a look at it.
Take a look at it. It's the one that's closest to like the building.
If I get it from Gary, I'm not really gonna do anything.
Down myself. I know, those kids get hurt. I know.
So, I'll take a look at it, near the,
It's right where the benches and stuff are, not the benches for the football field, the benches for ticket tables.
right.
But as soon as the concession stand is like here, right off that corner, it's that first one,
I took one out already,
the one in front of it.
okay, I'll take a look at it,
You could probably see the big branches laying right underneath it.
okay, good. That's it, other than that, working on everything else.
Could I just ask you about the hoarder? I missed that. Like, what was it about the hoarder?
Since 2022, we've been issuing violations for a property that is overgrown, has a lot of collectibles in the front, in the back, on the side, inside. The house is basically, you can't even go into the house, so bad. So today, after 4 violations that we wrote up recently since May, we made an agreement with the property owner that we would go in there and clean it up and see the property.
Thank you. And I do have one other question, and it has to do with at Key Rec Field, the outdoor commode on Buffalo Avenue. I was just curious why there's a
Construction,
that's for
that's
construction.
American Water doing construction.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah,
Like, it's right next to that. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
They have one of.
yeah. They're doing-
Oh, you talking about the porta pot?
Yeah, the porta potty.
Yeah, I was for that.
Yeah. Also,
That's why we had to have our water blown out because it was coming out brown the other day and couldn't give it out to the kids and.
Yeah,
Okay,
they put in a
thanks.
new water line and new water services on Deer Street.
okay.
And so that disturbance caused all sorts of rusty and dirty water there.
Mhm.
But we flushed all that out.
Yeah.
We flushed all that out.
Great, thanks.
Yep, thank you.
Jerry, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Lisa.
You said that some of the toters were stolen. Did you notice did you get an address like on Arago Street that was stolen?
Yeah. so that's-
Okay, because I noticed that today, that there was no toters at the house. It's empty.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the address, but
So I have every single serial number of
Okay.
every single toter, of every address, of every date and time that it was delivered. So I sent that one over to.
Tracker Rabbit.
Get that.
Track
Over
the
to,
trash
uh,
cans.
Over to
Mhm.
ACUA.
okay,
They'll look for it.
all right.
Jerry, some of them are still sitting in the street.
Oh, that's on Chicago.
One
The one,
59, 158 Buffalo.
and the 100 of Chicago.
We have to get around and get those. We were doing deliveries, backyard deliveries, businesses. I wanted to get the business, the rentals of other businesses done, and we'll go around the streets. Truthfully, because I had to organize this and work through the spreadsheets that we had, make sure that I kept track of every single can that got distributed. I haven't been doing my usual driving with once or twice a week.
But people been calling in, so we have sent him emails.
We've removed cans from people who don't want them. We've switched out cans to the smaller. We've done all of that based on whatever requests come into the clerk's office or Donna in code.
Are the smaller cans the same color as,
Exactly the same, except they're small.
they're smaller? And then if, like, I know there's 2 apartments across the street from my house and their toters are still in the street.
Yeah.
Are you planning on taking them away?
Depends.
Because
it's a
if you
vacant
take
property,
them away, I'm wondering how we can make sure that they get them if they put tenants in there.
The owner of the code enforcement has contacted, the ones we call, we go back, I can
Yeah.
tell them, they call the landlord and tell them they're out there.
And the other
So if
issue
you
I
tell us
had,
that property, we can do that too.
and the other issue I had is they're putting out the trash on the avenue, which I've lived there for 45 years. The trash goes on the terrace. So that has to be relayed to those people too, that he must be a new owner.
About,
They did, but
make sure people knew that.
I'll talk to Stanley at ACUA and see if he can come through on a Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
or Thursday and kind of address those issues.
Those houses on the end, one puts them out, one puts it out on the street.
Do they have a terrace pickup?
And the other property puts it out on the terrace.
Okay.
So there is no collection on the avenue.
Well, I think a lot of people got the trash cans on the street because
Yeah.
that's where the address, that's where they saw the address, so that's where they left the can. And they just assumed that that's where they're supposed to put their
Yeah.
can
Right.
now.
Well,
That
you
was
know,
like
but-
confused.
you gotta read it. and-
Yeah, because I know American Water ran into that problem when they started doing things through the terraces. The numbers are on the front of the house that
Yeah.
you want them to do something in the back of the house. So they literally have to drive to the front, count how many houses it is in, and then go around back, count how many houses to know what meter pit they're getting in to change a meter because there's no numbers on the back of the houses. It's just, it's confusing.
Well, I did ride around after collection the other day and certain streets, they were all lined up, emptied. It looked great, I thought. And then there were other streets like my terrace, which was a mess. So I think it's just,
It's a work in progress.
Yes.
Next week, send me whatever.
Trash cans aren't gonna change people.
How many are on the side of your house?
I came home, believe me, I was gonna, I was coming to hunt. I had trash cans in front of my house, down my alley. I looked like I had freaking a whole hotel room. I was literally gonna put them on Facebook Marketplace and start selling trash cans.
Jerry, can you talk about the Pinelands visit a little bit?
Oh,
Oh, okay, all right,
I was just there for.
just for moral support.
Accommodate, it was really nice. He took care of business.
Okay,
So just quick, Jared. One's on 100 Chicago. That is an apartment building that they're renovating. It must have changed hands. I wouldn't remove those because obviously they're gonna rent them again, but maybe have the landlord push them in the back because there's,
We'll do that.
okay.
That's send Riley up.
And remember, we had to cut that tree there on the
Yep.
corner. It's that place right there.
Yeah, we put them off to the side, behind the garage, in the backyard.
Yeah.
We know that if it's a for rent and no one's there,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna take them out. Plus, they're registered to that address. I don't
Yeah.
want them to leave the address.
Yeah, and there was also some people on the 100 block of Buffalo, maybe a handful, that put their trash out on Buffalo Avenue, so I don't think they have access to the terrace.
Mhm.
And they've always
Paper,
done that.
But they don't have access to the terrace, they're putting it in the front.
Yeah, but nobody would really know that, because you would think they did have access to it, but
Yeah.
they don't.
They don't.
But they've always put their trash in the front of the house.
Excuse me, Mayor, does the one on New Orleans Avenue and the White Horse Pike, I know they don't have terrace, are the property at the end?
Oh,
of the
that
100
one?
block There, yeah, because there's no.
They do put it out. I don't know, but
It's
they,
right on the corner
Yeah.
across from DeBrosa Tires and, yeah, they put it on the street, but I
On New
don't
Orleans?
know how they,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mike, they have access. Oh, they
No,
don't.
they
No.
don't, no, they're kind of pinned in there, but I don't know how they get the trash.
It's usually right on this, on the concrete.
Concrete, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's enough trash talk. Bill.
anything else? You're good, okay, thank you. Micah, welcome here tonight, our fill-in city attorney. You have anything to add?
No, nothing to report, but happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Anybody have questions for our attorney? Okay, thank you. Engineer tonight, we have a report from the engineer.
Sure. I'll try to do good with Buffalo Avenue. We're sort of waiting to hold the reconstruction meeting. We're actually still waiting for wood complaints from you. But we should have that any day.
You expect that to be done this year?
I'm still waiting to hear from the contractor. They're expecting somewhere between 5 and 6 weeks of concrete work. And they don't want to start the concrete work and then be too late in the season to get paving done. We specify a process that is more temperature sensitive than just the surface course. So they really don't want to do that in December. So we're gonna have to make a decision in the next week or two. So we're still in communication with the contractor on that.
Ron, except for one tree, we've completed, so the tree removals on.
Oh, good.
Except for one's gonna get done maybe tomorrow, maybe
That's
Tuesday.
coming down.
Yeah.
Perfect. So the lake campground improvements, we met with Ron Ward on the site on October 7th. We walked the entire site and I would say for all intents and purposes, she agreed with the interpretation that I gave them when we went up to the commission. We walked around the top of the dam, I explained the dam structure, it's all clay underneath, it's all impervious, it's very well compacted. So she kind of agreed it was pretty much as we said it was. She said she didn't have any kind of major species concerns. She didn't see a need for a cultural research survey because we're not disturbing anything. So we don't have formal correspondence from them yet because they are still internally debating how they're going to treat this. But Rhonda said they expect an answer, a letter within the next week or two. So we'll see how that comes out. So, but essentially, we're just kind of waiting until they give some direction on what to do with that, the material that was disposed of. As for the restrooms, we are trying to get Triad and DCA approval for just that portion, so we can just bid them separately. I think the last one of these I had that we were gonna try to get in for award on the 16th, but we forgot about the DCA approval step, so we're doing it. City Hall improvement, same thing. I had reached out to Triad and they came back and said, yeah, everything looks great. There's just one spelling mistake here. And I interpreted that to mean like we're good to bid the project. And then a week later, they emailed me and said, are we good to submit this to DCA? Which I thought they did. So I'm just waiting to hear back that we're clear from DCA to do that. Pedestrian improvements, we're still working through that, trying to get permitting squared away. Lawrence Avenue subdivision, we went out and set the property corners. I'm just waiting for an updated plan that we can give to Chris's office so that they can file the subdivision and then you guys can move forward with sale of the properties. Yeah, presumably.
How many properties are there?
Three lots on that section of Lawrence Avenue, it's directly across the community school. I think they'll be pretty desirable properties, so.
I can tell you that our real estate broker that we work with said that empty lots are going for above asking. We should be in pretty good shape to be able to do that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
What are the size, excuse me, what are the size of those lots? Do you know by chance offhand?
Each one is different. We sort of moved the boundaries around as best we could to meet with the wetlands. There's actually a pocket of wetlands in the middle of that block.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so isolated from everything else, we were able to get the buffer down to a 50-foot buffer, which is pretty uncommon in finance. So with a 50-foot buffer, we were able to squeak one house in on the end, another one sort of next to it, and then there's that pocket of wetlands, and then there'll be another house which is closer to Deer Street, but still a few hundred feet away because there's actually a buffer from the wetlands on the other side of Deer Street, which encroaches on that side.
Okay.
So I think that'll be the most desirable lot, because you'll have woods on both sides and be pretty much in perpetuity. But I think all three are pretty desirable. And for a builder, it's already on a paved street with curb and sidewalk. There's water and sewer in the terrace right behind you, so it's about as, you know.
So what kind of frontage to her question?
They vary. I want to say the one is like 300 and the other kind of almost evenly split, the other 300 or so.
Wow.
I would say it was like
Size?
120, 170 and 300-ish. But don't quote me on that, but that's. Okay, the iBank Stormwater project, we were able to get the bond through. You guys authorized us to move forward pending receipt on the technical assistance funding. So that should free up even more money for the construction of this. But we'll work with DEP on trying to get the next steps and get environmental clearance. So that we can try to move forward and get that up. Wednesday? Okay, I'm sure all of our problems. Good. Good. Yeah, I have motivated. Well, that's, I know getting replaced is a priority there, as they ask us every year on the MS4 stuff, like how many you replace this year? So, last thing on the front side here is the D Street from Brandon, Baltimore, again, we're just waiting for DOT concurrence to bid that. I'm gonna say at this point, that's gonna be a spring construction project, but, since it's a new road construction, that's probably will start in February or March, as long as we get somebody down the contract. And then backside is just some quick updates. We're actually going to wander over to the rec fields to discuss the informal parking area that has developed over the years. That's so nice. So we talked about that there is a need there, but actually there's no ability to permit it where it is. So in the interim, we have to restore that area to the grass condition. But she did float the idea of building some parking up closer to the dugouts for the Babe Ruth field. Because the Harbor Fields would count as intervening development. So even though it was probably within the wetlands buffer, because Harbor Fields exists in their parking lot and structures are in between the wetlands and there, that intervening development would give us potential justification to build something to accommodate parking. Just a little farther, a little closer up to Buffalo Avenue. So we could talk about that and see, you know, how big and whether you think it's warranted and what we could do there. But so there's an avenue. Across from Harbor Fields, Kim,
Oh, thank you.
right across from Harbor.
Oh, so on Key Rex
Yeah,
property.
yeah,
Okay, I
you
thought
know
maybe
that
that's other
existing-
property.
Yeah, you know where the existing gravel lot is?
Yeah, where they park.
You're right, so if you come off of Deer Street into there and you sort of look to the right where the Babe Ruth field is, it would be like closer to their dugouts. It's a lot more in foul ball territory. unfortunately.
So we're gonna pick up, are we gonna pick up much space, much parking?
Yeah,
from
I mean,
that?
it was.
Replicate what's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's
not broken windshields, so we have to debate that.
There is that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you have to put up a net or
They
something.
park there, anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They park there. Coaches park there, everybody park.
Okay.
And once that becomes grass, people are gonna still park
They're
there.
gonna,
Yeah, exactly.
That's just the way it,
Right.
As
As long
long
as there's still grass, it. yeah,
They're going-
it's not a
yeah.
Violation.
exactly.
I was just hoping we found a remedy to parking out there.
Yes, that big empty field next to Babe Ruth that I've been begging for, that Pinelands will not give us.
Yeah, we talk about basketball court, we talk about all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Because he apparently is on the good side.
Yeah, I was gonna-
Yeah.
now's the
We
time.
tried it, and I actually went up there with Dan McGinnis, who works in the
Yeah.
county years ago, and
Mhm.
it's also in rec, and I told him before we got there, I said, they're gonna say no. And he said, no, and we talked it through with basketball court, and then we got done, and they were like, yeah, no.
What about the county corner one from Key Rec that's across from Harbor Fields, but it's catty corner. There used to be a house on it.
It was
Well,
supposedly, the
It
rumor,
was a house though, it was residential and the house was falling in. And when Ed was the president, we had it torn down because we were afraid kids were gonna play in it walking home from school.
I think that's
There
that.
there are two lots there.
yes,
One of them was sold and the other one we still own and cut.
yeah.
We
See,
cut that lot.
years ago,
That's
that
pretty
this
low.
is when I brought it up about turning that into a parking lot. And I believe it was me and you
the
had,
community center, remember?
not, that was the baseball field, that's Chicago field, we're talking about the fields that the Babe Ruth hits all their fouls in.
I got you.
Yeah,
So, and across the street was two city-owned lots.
Yeah.
And the deal was that we were gonna try to get Pinelands to see if we can make a flip-flop trade.
Yeah.
Basically, the city give them those two lots and we would take the wooded area by the Babe Ruth field and turn it into a parking lot. But that didn't happen.
yeah.
So one of those lots is sold and the other one hasn't.
Sold from the city?
Yeah, from the city.
Okay.
And I only learned that because it wasn't cut until Hadley said, that's a city-owned lot, you gotta cut it, so we started cutting it. But yeah, so, you know,
Yeah, so if you remember around 2012, when we
Mhm.
built, maybe 2011, before we built the water treatment plant, there were
Right.
actually some discussions of moving the old duck in, duck out structure.
Right, that was after,
yeah.
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 That was right when I got on and me and Butchie had went to go look at it and I've only been there once the day of my life and then like a week later it shut down, like when I moved there, but I was looked at Butchie, looked, I said, there's no way this thing is making it.
Yeah, that's kind of what we came up with. We
And
were
then-
gonna move pieces. not-
And then it was
Next
next to the White House behind the concession stand, they had that little land we were gonna build
Yeah.
a little, we were gonna build a little like community center, not a community center, but like a little like meeting area and stuff
Yep.
like that. And
I saw that plan. somewhere.
the rule was that if we build it and we stay within the setbacks that, Pinelands was give us a portion of that for parking and all that stuff. And then, plans were handed over and it just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, and Gary cleaned that all out too.
Yeah, Gary and, Chris Hall came with his, cleaning all the trees and everything like that. So I guess,
Can't be brought up
Ryan
again.
did bring up the expansion of the concession stand and the pad for the porta
Yes.
potties, right?
Yeah, we talked through those two and, what's gonna be required for storm management and all that. So Rhonda did give us some good direction on, how to proceed there. But yeah, it's definitely worthwhile bringing her out here. Last two things, the brownfield redevelopment areas, we're working with Jeff on trying to advance the landfill stuff. Do you wanna talk about that now?
Yeah, they're now, or when the resolution comes up, if you come to purpose.
It's up to you, Joe.
It's up to you. You want to do it now? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we have the application together and we provide that. Head on up.
Yeah. So this is Brian Emilius. Brian is gonna be the LSRPD for the landfill project. We met with Ryan's team the other day. About, they'll be the engineer and doing some surveying work and also probably some highlands, endangered species and wetland work, et cetera. So. Item number 17 on the is resolution to apply for the investigative grant. Here's the SRF. So if council approves that this evening. And Meg gets us that, resolution, we will, and the mayor signs in the 3 places on the application, we'll send that in pronto and get that going. We've actually had a preliminary discussion with, DEP, in the Brownfields office, both the HDSRF coordinator and the landfill person. And talked about the concept of actually submitting a remedial action grant this year. Try to get, you're eligible for up to $5 million of grant per year. Municipality, we want to try to get that in now because there's nothing else in this year, so. We'll try to get that on in the next meeting to the agenda, so we can get that in, even though it'll be a rough engineering estimate, they're fine getting that in, reviewing that and allocating those funds. And then you'll have another, availability next year for, although we may not be additional, and we'll, let's polish it up in the subsequent year, once we get the investigation finished, so. On a personal note, if there's any questions over the next couple of weeks, I'm having knee surgery on Tuesday. I'll give all my contact information to Jerry and Ryan and everybody. So Brian will be taking the lead on getting this. But the DEP has been very cooperative. They're ready to get moving. Everybody understands that we want to try to get the urgency here because of the ITC issues with the solar. So
And that timeline looks pretty good yet.
yes,
So that,
yep,
okay.
yep. We got a hustle, but yeah, it looks good.
We're trying to set up a BDA meeting?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll start.
I think after November 5th, but Joe said you're not gonna be here November 5th, right? Okay.
I asked Ron that question, and Ron Kowski.
Yeah.
He's bringing Eric in, to kind of run that, and he's got more responsibility since Frank retired, so,
No problem.
we work with her on another BDA, so.
Is it critical that we do it like right away? Because I would really,
BDA meet?
yeah,
No, I don't think so. Steering committee.
I think his applications are more critical than anything else.
yeah,
I think we gotta get them in the queue.
Yeah,
okay.
and then you can eat them as they're certified.
Because I'd rather wait till Joe gets back. When are you getting back?
The 10th.
Okay, so we could push it off till
I'll be able
after that.
to.
Make sure you have a recliner.
Yes.
You can't sleep in the bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean to scare you, but it's the worst thing ever.
Everybody already has.
We should have opted for a hip instead. Rotator cuff's the worst thing ever. Hmm.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Jeff?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Brian, you. Master plan, is that the last thing?
Yeah, we're still working on recommendations stuff, but,
Okay,
yeah, we can still like to try to close out. But yeah, that's really, I did make some revisions in Philadelphia Avenue projects. The county ran into some Highlands permitting, which is a shocker, I know. So they're not gonna be bidding their project to start in January. They're trying to keep it on track as much as possible, but February, March looks more realistic at this point.
And you saw the email, they just started the test borings,
No, yeah.
like literally, it was supposed to be started 2 weeks ago, maybe more.
Yeah, they did get their permit, confirmed out and talked to the county a couple weeks ago. But yeah, they're doing something at least.
it's the latest on the studio.
I haven't heard anything since he submitted to the Finance Commission. So I don't know. It's possible he hasn't gotten a response yet. Hopefully he hasn't gotten a
They
response
weren't
yet.
on the 10-10 meeting.
Oh, yeah, they're not gonna get it.
Yeah, they weren't on the 10-10 meeting. I think maybe Jonathan thought he was gonna be on it, but he's not on the 10-10.
Yeah, that never.
They made it sound like it was imminent
Yeah, I know.
when we were at the
I
Pinelands.
looked at the agenda, 10-10 wasn't on.
Okay, anything else, Ryan?
I'm sorry, can I
Question,
have
go
one
ahead.
more question, right? How are things going out at the industrial park with the cannabis property out there? I see that they're working at this point.
Yeah, he started doing some clearing. He got me all the estimates so we can put together the inspection escrow and bonding and all that stuff. He didn't realize he had to do that. He called me, he's like, oh, we're gonna start clearing tomorrow. I was like, that's cool, but there's a bunch of other stuff we're supposed to do first. So we're working with him and just, let him, it's gonna be a long process for him, I can tell. but,
Which one's the industrial park?
Next to Cisco.
I guess.
I don't know.
Gene Charles is the guy.
Oh, okay, got it, yeah. Yes, it is.
What is,
Not
his company?
Now I know you just.
Jersey Ground, maybe?
No, I think it is.
Jersey Girl.
On break.
It's the James Carl.
Yeah, Gene Charles is the individual, I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Jersey
But he's
Road,
just-
Raymond.
Yeah, Jess Holdings, that's right.
Yeah.
Jess Holdings LLC.
Yeah, because I see they have a whole dog and everything out there now. They have all kind of equipment out there at this
Yeah, they're
point.
starting with their storm management, all the site work.
Yeah, yeah. And I do have one other question. Well, I see that Euro, they just redid that whole property. It really looks nice out there. They did a very nice job with it. I just wanted to mention out in the industrial park as well. I didn't realize they were
They're gonna put a lot of money
revamping.
into it.
They did
Yeah,
put a lot of money into
We
that.
met
It was
with,
really
who I
good.
suspect is the new ownership group now, months ago. Before they finalized the transaction, just to talk about what they could expect if they purchase the property.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I expect that, as Joe and Jerry will indicate, there'll be a good amount of money going into that, so.
Yeah, it looks very
That'd
good.
be great.
Mhm.
Can I ask Ryan a couple,
Go ahead.
thing real quick? Did you ever email me that? Cause I didn't get it, if you did. Yeah. Oh, good, okay. I just want to make sure I'm getting your emails,
Yes.
because they've been very scarce lately. And, I heard you mention the technical assistance program, that's TAP, right? Is that what it's now? Is that TAP?
I think,
Okay,
they have it, it's not the federal.
it's not the
tax.
federal, okay, good, because I was gonna ask you if that's gonna significantly delay the program.
No,
Okay,
this is money that iBank, already has.
all right, that's good news.
Yes. Awesome. Do you want to bring up the local freight impact?
No,
No.
that's fine.
Very good.
We talked about that enough.
Done? Okay. All right, thank you. Number 14 on the agenda is a resolution authorizing the refund of the 2025 Egg Harbor City Lake concession stand operators security and excess electric deposit.
So moved.
Second,
Motion made, and seconded. Questions? Roll call.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
yes.
Doby,
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers,
Yes.
right.
Motion passes. Number 15, resolution appointing hearing officer. Steve Sakari, Esquire.
I just have a quick question. Is this a new position or is this something that we're replacing?
This is a personnel matter, and, civil service requires us when an employee. Who is being disciplined, requests a hearing, we have to appoint an outside hearing officer.
Okay,
So we're doing this, with Gil Blaney, our labor attorney.
okay, okay.
He can't do it. Employee, that he can't.
I
Our
got you.
attorney can't do it, we have to hire.
An outside.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion made, and seconded. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash.
Yes.
Doby,
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener,
Yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
resolution passes. Number 16, appointing Montrose. I say that right? Montrose, Environmental Solutions to provide fiscal 26 Brownfield community-wide assessment. Grant application services. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions on the motion?
Yeah, what's this about?
We're chasing a $500,000 community-wide assessment grant. That's provided by the Brownsfield funds.
How much does this cost?
$500,000.
I did send the proposal. It was in the back.
Yeah, I'm reading, but
If we have the community-wide assessment and that, completed, then it will be, eligible for $4 million of additional brownfield grant.
so how deep, how, in the,
The whole thing, so they go look throughout the whole city.
I mean, how much work do they do?
They identify all the brownfields and then they identify potential grants that we could get to clean up the brownfields.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Good deal.
Very fine print. It's so tiny.
I didn't read it, I was pulling.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Motion.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash,
Yes.
Doby,
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Hesse.
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Number 17, resolution applying for and accepting a preliminary assessment, site investigation and remedial investigation grant from the Hazardous Discharge Site Remediation Fund Municipal Program through the New Jersey Economic Development Authority and the Department of Environmental Protection and appointing an authorized representative.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there questions? Roll call, please.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash.
Yes.
Joby,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Bessie.
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes. Number 18, resolution change order number 1, final for the Weisbecker demolition.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions?
This was a reduction, right?
Yeah. 6,000.
Roll call, please.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash.
Yes.
Joby,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Bessie.
Yeah.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Number 19, resolution chapter 159 of the Small Cities Grant for City Hall ADA improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions? Roll call, please.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash.
Yes.
Joby,
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Bessie.
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Okay, introduce ordinance number 19 of 2025, amending chapter 251 titled Towing of the Code of Egg Harbor City. Okay, advertise notice of introduction in the Hamilton Gazette on October 22nd for public hearing on the 13th November.
I make a motion.
Second.
I just have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So we're changing it? Is this new?
I can tell you, the chief and I spent about an hour and a half reviewing chapter 251. And we saw that there were two provisions that were in conflict with each other.
Okay,
So we kind of meshed them together and created it so that it's a 5-mile perimeter for a company to service Egg Harbor City as opposed to having a physical location in Egg Harbor City. One was 10 miles, one was 0 miles, we went to 5 miles.
okay.
So can I just ask something? So we're two different towing companies, right? Just like we have now, but.
now.
Well, there's more.
There's more. Oh, so that,
But when we reviewed it, when Marcelo and I reviewed it, everything was good except for these two provisions that were in conflict. So we
That
have.
was just a housekeeping issue.
Yeah, it's a housekeeping.
Okay, roll call.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash.
Yes.
Joby,
Yes.
Galloway.
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Bessie.
yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The ordinance is introduced. Number 21 and 22, I've been told are not necessary. Could you explain, please?
Yeah, so we have, a couple ordinances that when. They're for more than one, purpose, kind of break down the ordinance, how much for each purpose, so. The total isn't really changing, just the breakout between the ordinances, like. For example, we want to use more for a road program than, let's say, purchase of computers or something. So anyway, when we awarded the Buffalo Avenue, we want to use more towards the road improvements of what's left in the ordinance. But because we fully funded them, we don't need to formally amend the ordinance. That was bond council. I did talk to the auditor. They said when we do our budget transfers, if we want, we could just kind of add that in, just to make sure council kind of has like a formal, so that way it's kind of documented. So when we do budget transfers in November, I'll just add like a section for that as well, so we know where the money's moving.
Good,
So
thank you.
these are just being pulled.
All right, number 23 on the agenda is the bill list. Pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions? Please.
Clark,
Yes.
Dash.
Yes.
Joby,
Yes.
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist.
Yes.
Bessie.
Yes.
Keener,
Yes.
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Motion passes, bills are paid. Number 24, mayor's comment.
Just anyone in the audience, if you'd like a flyer for what is what they're collecting, there's the instructions there and what they are and are not collecting here. If you want one, I have plenty of them. Just see me at the meeting and I'll give you one. So I hope we go support this. It's really a great endeavor taken on by the American Legion. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I just have one question. Would you like me to take the box down in City Hall here?
No,
Because
Mm-mm.
You sure it's kind of counterproductive? Would you think?
It's very
No,
different stuff.
is it different?
it's different.
Okay, it's not coats
Yeah,
as well?
yeah,
Okay.
well, could be, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Seems like it's mostly clothes and
Okay.
shoes, right? Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Let's start on this end. Councilwoman Clark.
Just two things, both with the Crusaders. We have started a canned food drive, now through November 1st. We're asking for anyone with, to drop off their canned goods and, non-perishables to the concession stand. Tuesday through Friday from 6 to 8, or during any of our 2 remaining home games, which is this Saturday, the 18th, and also November 1st. And those are between 2:30 and 7 PM for the home games. Also, next Saturday, we'll be holding our 4th annual trunk or treat from 6 to 8 PM. It's a free event for both trunks and treaters. Setup begins at 4:30, and that will be at Crusaders Field. And everyone have a happy and safe Halloween. And that's all.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Cal-
Can I
go ahead.
ask, Ingrid, what is it going to? Where's the canned food?
It would be, No One Hungry in Egg Harbor City.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Heiss.
Nothing.
Councilman Dash.
Just real quick, now that the colder weather's coming, it's getting dark a lot earlier. I encourage everyone to keep your porch lights on, help keep the Egg Harbor City a little bit more safe. I know electricity prices are going up, but there's LED bulbs, there's solar lights. So if you can, cell phone. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Dovey.
I have nothing.
Councilman Timbers.
I want to give a shout out to Jojo Bermudez. He graduated from Cedar Creek about 3 years ago, and I just found out that he's had a bit of a problem adjusting to college. He's recently transferred to Temple University. He's playing for a football team and scored a couple touchdowns. He's doing pretty well.
Been doing really good for the last 3 years.
Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to him.
It's your line.
Thank you.
Huh?
That's usually your line.
Washington game against Navy.
All I have to say is I hope I see everyone out at the Halloween parade on Friday, the 24th, 6:30 is step off. That's all I have. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Councilwoman Galloway.
I wanted to make a suggestion. We discussed it, I think, at the last meeting or the meeting before that, a woman had come here complaining about it's difficult to get across Philadelphia Avenue. And I would like to suggest that we get flashing pedestrian light in each direction on that intersection there that could be activated by pushing a button.
It is a county road, so we'll probably have to.
Yeah, go to the county. Oh, yeah, that's an idea. Maybe we should ask the county for a shared service for that.
We have connections, right?
Might be able to get it.
Yeah, I'm burning a lot of favors, but yeah. No problem.
Because it is, it's difficult for me to get across the street and I'm gonna be behind our.
30
Very soon.
30 and 50. That's a controlled intersection now, though.
That already is.
You're
No,
talking
you mean
about
other.
No, just in front of Rittenberg Manor,
Okay.
where the seniors are.
Can.
Yeah. Yeah. And wanted to wish all the candidates running in this year's election good luck on November 4th and encourage all residents to get out and cast their ballots for their favorites. And please, anybody has anything for the newsletter, get it to me early because I'm really, really busy at work. So I'd like to start it soon. That's all.
Thank you. Councilman Wright.
Councilman Hager pretty much touched on everything that's coming up. Far as Councilman Timbers was talking about with JoJo, he was actually down in our field 2 weeks ago. He's going to be the next one that you're going to be seeing his name announced on the NFL. He did 2 years at Delaware where he had over 700 some yards receiving, a couple of touchdowns. He decided to transfer to Temple for coaching reasons. Coach moved, so he went with the coach. For those that don't know, I think he had 100 and some, probably, I think it was 97 yards and a touchdown at the Link against Navy last week. It was televised. So like I said, there's another one that's hopefully up and coming. See on the NFL, it was good seeing them and watching, a lot of people were at the Link, it was probably a full crowd, and you know, he's a diehard Eagles fan, so for him to be able to play on that field was probably a dream come true to him. So it's good to see, you know.
All your hard work is paid off, Mason. Thank you.
That's like my second kid. I pretty much raised him since he was 2 years old. Huh?
What a great feeder program you guys.
Well, yeah, well, it starts at us, and you know, of course, Cedar Creek continues it, and then, you know, they go on from there. So it's just, you know, it takes an army, but you know, so we shall see.
It's a story.
Okay, anything else? Yep. Thank you. The only thing I want to say is what has been said here already. Everyone have a safe and happy Halloween. Safe trick or treat. So, and now we'll open it up to the public. Anyone in the public wish to be heard? Anyone else?
I come now.
Seeing none, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Yay.
Motion made, all in favor? Vote. Ayes have it.